first year that I started hitting for power, and the hitting coaches at the time in Miami were Barry Bonds and Frank Menachino. And obviously everybody who's watching this is going to know who Barry is. And, regardless of your feelings, a guy that's hit more homers than anybody on planet Earth, or at least who hasn't played Major League Baseball. You're going to listen. And he really knew a lot about the game. Like, anybody can go out there and hit a homer. Like, you can go deep in a game and you can have no idea why. Like, yeah, sure, I hit the ball hard and it went over the fence. And by definition, that's a home run. But why did that happen? Like, what allowed that to happen? And as a young player, I never really knew. I was like, oh yeah, that felt good. That was a good swing. But why was it a good swing? We're in this cage and it's like tarped in, and it's probably 120 in this thing. And I was trying to find it again. I was kind of struggling a little bit and trying to do some drills in the cage. And Barry was in there with me with Frank. And, I always thought as a young player, when I wanted to drive the ball, I would do it with my body. And by that, I meant like, in BP, if you're like, all right, hit a homer, and your hip will fly, your front side will fly, everything, because you're just straight yank. And that's the complete opposite of what you want to do when you're trying to hit a homer. And so Barry got me in there and spread me out really wide and was like, hit this ball off the front of the plate, like the white part of the plate. And I was like, okay. So I think he had Frank flip and he was watching. And so I'm spread out to my landing point. So if I did my leg kick and you stride out to where your foot landed, that's how wide I was. And I'm just sitting there, and it was a no stride drill, and it was just like hit the front of the plate. And I was like, okay, cool. He throws me the ball, like I try and chop this shit right off the front of the plate, and I hit it maybe 6 feet out in front of the plate, like bounce and goes into the screen, whatever. And he goes, I said the front of the plate. I was like, oh shit, all right. So back again, hit it this time probably like 2 or 3 feet, and he was like, I said right off the plate. And I was like, I'm trying, dude. And so I do it again. I miss again, and he grabs the bat and he does it. He just pounding balls off the plate. And I'm like, what is going on right here? But I was like, I'm riding this out. Right. You're right. He grabbed it and he like showed me what he was talking about. So he pounded a few. He pounded a few off the plate. So, all right, let's do that. So I get in, I start doing that. And then after a few of that, he's like, okay, now I want you to, chop it where I was originally, like 6-7 feet out there, like that. And we slowly did that, and we brought the ball up to probably about line drive level, where it was just like, and I still had that chopping feeling, but I wasn't actually like steep down, it was just like your path was so short and cleaned up. And it was his way of cleaning up his bat path when he played. And it's a feel, and thinking that of swing down, because you hear the swing down, some guys say that still, like if you hear the old school, or I wouldn't say old school, but A-Rods, Berries, like these guys all talk about chipper, they all talk about swing down, and that's why they're kind of against the Instagram, Twitter people, because they're so anti that. Yes. And if I hit a ball off the top of this cage in this drill, I might have got punched in the face, you know what I mean? Not literally, but it would have been just like a what are you doing moment. And so it was creating like true backspin. Like the ball was coming off, and I was trying to hit this bitch straight in the ground, and it was like opposite field, backspin missile, up the middle, backspin missile, pull side, backspin, like true pull side. And I was like, damn, like I'd never really done that before. And if I had, it was pure luck accident. And I never really understood it. I was always a guy that just hit and could feel when it felt good, not good. Sure. And I just hit. I had no reasoning behind anything, and I was like, man, that feels pretty good. And like I was hitting against my front side in a sense of where like it wasn't leaking first before I went to swing, and that's why everything was so true. And I was short, and I could pull the ball correctly instead of top spinning it or hooking it foul. And I took it in BP that day, and It was the best batting practice I've probably ever had in my entire life. It was like just homers, like everywhere, all